ma'am, you have done your graduation from DU and in mass communication and journalism. So at that time, you wanted to become a filmmaker or you wanted to become a journalist at that point of time?
That point of time, I did not want to become a journalist, either not a filmmaker. So I was just exploring what I really want to do. So even in my graduation from first year itself, I started exploring uh, the medium itself. So I started internship with this community radios and then internship with the different platform of media, print media, and then also with the news channel. I did internship with India News also. So I was exploring, and I was also part of theater groups. I was also doing some workshops. So many things when I was exploring myself. So during my last year of my graduation, I was like, I could filter out. I was getting into my cinema zone, and just I had this film study classes in my last semester in journalism, where I used to attend only those classes and I used to just miss others. So I understood, okay, these are the classes I'm really into. So I was doing those things and I was just following what I was liking. So I used to go for I started going for screening. Friday screening we used to have, and then I got to filter. This is what is my calling, and this is what I love to do and enjoy and being happy to do. Yeah.
Was there a particular film which you really like and thought that now I want to become a filmmaker? It's really changed your mind.
So actually, you will be surprised, but in my film study class, in the graduation itself, I watched mm, like Satyajit 3 for the first time. I still remember that day and his films when we were watching. It has changed me, and eventually, I was in Satyajit 3 Film Institute, and it was a like surprise and coincident, and because that's when I actually started because I was not allowed to watch cinema at my home. So it was really nice when I got to explore, not explored with this Bollywood much, and then I watched other parallel cinema more than on any other cinema. So in my graduation, when I started watching Bimal Roy, so Guru Dutt film was the first films which actually changed me. Like films can be this beautiful with the pain itself, not just with the pain, but like films can be beautiful and it's like it can talk your heart out. So like Guru Dutt, Satyajit Ray, and this parallel cinema, when I started watching these cinema, I could connect more than before.
Ma'am, then you joined SRFTI. So why you choose SRFTI and not FTI? And what was your experience there?
It's not a choice, by the way, but because the year I applied, that year there was no, in FTI there was 0 year. So, yeah, so we only had option to apply in SRFTI that year, that particular year, 2016. So, yeah, I got applied. But by the way, I applied in Mumbai University for film studies master that same time, and so I thought like if I don't get SRFT or something, I'll just go to Mumbai, study this, get this degree, but at the same time I'll start working or assisting somebody, get to understand this thing. So there's always a plan B for this. Yeah.
And ma'am, your parents like were okay with it or they discourage you?
Uh, they were not, they never discouraged me. That's the beauty and the best part of them, but they could not understand what I was really doing it. They were like, okay, fine, you want to do something, but they were still pushing me to prepare for civil exams. They were like, you should do a government job or you should teach in a school or do that particular safe job. And they wanted me to do like, some safe job and all. So they never discouraged me. They always followed like and also pushed like if you want to do, if you like to do, okay, you do it. It was that easy.
Okay. Uh, Ma'am, what are the advantages and disadvantages of a film school?
Okay, that's that's so many things. Advantages too many, even disadvantage. But in advantages, like there are so many things you get to learn. There are so many things you get to understand. You grow in film school, and your understanding changes. You meet so many liberals. You meet so many perspectives. You get to meet so many artists here. That's the best part in film school. You get to meet so many stories every day is like so many stories. Everyone is working on some or the other one. So you are surrounded by these kind of environments, which will make you, get into this, like, which will make you feel like, okay, you are also doing something. But it's also in bubble. It's also a bubble because they think this is the only world sometimes, like because we don't really interact with outside people that time, like when you're in a film school. So it's good also because you tend to grow and you should start from that your own space, then you step out. So the child grows first at home only. So home is like a very comfort space. You get to stay in it. You won't really want to break it sometimes. You don't want to step out of it. So it's like that. So some people like that comfort zone. So we'll stay longer in it. And it's not just about comfort. You will learn. You will learn many things, but it's also important to go out, explore understand the world outside. So it's really not about advantages and disadvantages, but it's also about how you learn, how you choose to learn. Some people, some students start working outside also at the same time they are in film school. So that's also the way. So it's a very individual way of understanding.
Ma'am, is there a mentality of film school like if you want to make films that you should make serious film, not commercial films? Is there a mentality there?
No, 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 no. No. There are I used to think like so. There were my batchmates who had really good taste in cinema, and they were having dark humor in their films. They were like also they had the taste of like how to and like how the commercial cinema was also doing, and at the same time there were people who were making serious films. So it's the diverse stories. There were no only sad stories. Always the good and bad both. So it's not about always serious cinema. It's also about who you are.
Ma'am, then you made your SRFTA short film called What Are You Searching For? So, ma'am, how the idea came and what was your experience?
So what are you searching for? Was my dissertation film. It's my final, diploma film, not the short. Like, yeah, it's a short film. So the idea was it was there long back. So it came from a very personal experiences, what in life, what all happens, and then when you write, you fictionalize, you add stuff, you subtract few things. So the idea comes from when we understand our own what we go through, our own journey. So I had the idea, I had images, I had few dialogues in my mind, but when I developed it, I worked on it, and it grew with the time. So that's how the idea started with me.
Okay. Ma'am, it was in Himachal, set in Himachal. Did you shoot on location in a village?
Yeah,
What was the experience like,
yeah.
ma'am? Many difficulties you may have faced there.
It was the easiest shoot I've ever had, like shooting in that village. Like I did not make the film. I did not have that much budget to afford, like, to make a film like that. But it's a village only who helped us, who stood with us to make this film. And we had like the crew was very less. So they all were doing the production. Village were doing the shoot, like not shoot, like the technical stuff only we were handling, but everything else was done by them only. They were giving their props. They were not their props, their things, their belongings to us to use as props in our film. So it was not, we never could buy things. We could not afford to buy things. We were just not beg, we were begging, and they were just offering us their own stuff, belonging, everything, whatever we need. They never asked why do you need it. They never said no. So whatever we need, it's like the whole village were like ready to just give it to us, and it was, that's why the village made us easy to make this film, not the money.
Okay. Okay. Ma'am, there were two child actors there. So is it difficult to work with child actors or is it easy?
Uh, the dialect, you
Child
mean?
actors, ma'am. Childs.
Child actors, okay. Though it was not easy, but it was not very difficult. So it was a bit difficult with the child, the smallest baby, because it need to be with the mother and all. So we used to give that time to get the particular angle, particular cry. It's just the time we could give. We cannot make the child actor act like the baby cannot act, but we can only give time to wait for that certain behavior, certain incident to happen with the uh, uh, with the fictional mother he could bond with. So we gave that baby to the mother, like the lead actors. So they spend time, they get attached. So it's like we were giving time. Was the baby training, nothing else. Yeah.
Ma'am, how did you approach Indra Tiwari? She is the main lead in this film. And did you audition her? Because there is absolutely only, I think, one dialogue, and it is mostly internal. Her character is very internal. Her performance is very internal. So, how did you had that in that mind, or did you, while shooting it, did you thought like that?
So, Indra and me, we connected long back before we actually did the film. Even like 2 years back before the lockdown, before we actually started the film. So, while writing itself, I connected with her. We shared the story. She said the story she can connect as her mother and as her own self. So she could see and she could connect it personally. That's why she wanted to do it. So we waited for 2 years to like for more things. Yeah, we both were patient because I was writing only that time. So we stayed connected. We explored each other. We understood the story more deeply. So on location, it was we never had to train or we never had to audition. It is like the more we explored each other, the more I could understand who she is and how she connected to this film. She understood the character in a very minute detail. So this way in this film, I never chose a method of auditioning. I never chose a method of giving the workshop. I gave time and we made bond. Even if you see, I have not so many non-actors in the film, they are just the local people. So with Indra also, I never did a workshop. Indra, like we had really good talks for days and days. We used to share. We used to share the script. We used to talk about the script a lot. So the first thing when I approached her was her eyes, like the particular eye I wanted to have in my film. And after that, if I found when I found that she understood the film and she can relate to it personally. So I got this, like if she understands, she could relate, we can do it. So it was not a big thing, big struggle for me with her. It was very easy. She's really like the heartful by heart person we can talk to. And once she likes the story, she works really hard. She will practice. She will add few thinking stuff like to practice that character. She will practice being herself in her daily life also. So she was like thinking like if I am the mother, if I lose something, I get that emotion. How will I? So she will feel it first, then when what she will act after it. So we were practicing all these things.
Ma'am, after it was a film, it was done by SRFTI. So after that, have you assisted or have you work? Is there a future project?
Uh, I was doing one feature length, continuously shooting it every year in a particular season. And after that season and before that season, I was working with IUCN as an associate director, where I had to research and direct and do the film. It's a seven documentaries, small documentaries in Himalayan belt, and IUCN is like Indian Union of Nature Conservation, International Union of Nature Conservation. So for them, we had to make the film. So it was under the production art care run by a national award filmmaker, Krishnendu Bose. So I was also co-writing and researching with other filmmakers. Now I'm also doing an international project as a co-writer, the UK production. So it's nice to work outside, and mostly I'm doing writing than the practical. So only field work I'm doing is the right now is the documentary, and I was mainly working as a writer before, like last 2 years, several projects which came for yeah.
Ma'am, what are your thoughts on Indian documentary filmmakers? Like we had Shashank Sen who got nominated for Oscar, and this year also he got nominated for Oscar. And there's Nocturnals, which went to Sundance and won an award. So, what are your thoughts, ma'am?
So Indian documentaries are exploding. Like it's not just growing; it's exploding in the world, and uh, there are so many good stories, good documentaries coming out. And now it's no more about just the just like if it is a fiction and non-fiction. So it's all about the what story is, what we gonna see. So we are also merging the line between fiction and documentaries. So docufiction is the one medium which I'm really interested in. So I'm learning and I'm exploring that. So documentaries are really growing, and uh, after this awards and recognition on international platform, people are really deviating toward documentaries, which is good for all of us. Like it's really good that people are actually understanding and seeing more documentaries now. They are actually, I think they might get tired of fiction. Okay, now we need to see something real. Like not tired, nobody will get tired, but yeah, people are exploring more mediums than before.
Okay. Ma'am, as a documentary filmmaker, you've said that you are making a documentary. Do you like the word documentary? Like, or do you like the word docu-fiction? Like, if you say documentary, then there is a specific genre like interview, political. Do you like these labels?
I never fall for any terminologies or genre or what kind of it is. What come close to me, what I feel about this. Okay, this is the. I think if I'm getting chance to make a documentary, I'm doing it. It's never about it's a documentary. This is it. What I want to do. Maybe I'm writing. That's why I need that. If I need to. If I get bored writing my stories, I'll go out and explore something and start doing one documentary, let's say. Actually, how the documentary came to me was not my choice. I was stuck in a lockdown, and I started just shooting those life, and I started exploring more into that subject. So that's how the documentary came.
Uh, Ma'am, your favorite films and your favorite filmmakers. Can you recommend some films and filmmakers?
Favorite are many. Like we can like the more you explore, the more you will see there are more favorites because it's always about when you watch it or you really like it. But which really stayed with me was the latest I watched was Fallen Leaves is the one, and Perfect Days. Like these two films, which I watched it recently and which I
Aki
loved it very much. Like
Kaurismäki and Wim Wenders.
Filmmakers, yeah. These two films are the latest favorite because if you compare like which is the one, like you cannot tell. You keep remembering films and with the films will stay back with you. So my last ones are those two.
Any Indian ma'am? Any Indian films?
Indian film, I haven't watched much Indian film. Uh, I can't name it
Any
because
name which is like popping, like coming in your mind?
so last year I watched Pravinder's film, which I was already expecting more from him. So, but his films I like, so his film stayed with me, and not Indian actually. We should say any other language film. So, uh, Joyland, if you watched,
Yeah,
which
yeah, it's my favorite film.
affected
It's
me,
my favorite film of all
yeah.
time.
So,
Top five.
in Indian, I haven't watched it in good
Oh,
cinema recently.
okay. Uh,
Yeah,
uh, Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining the podcast. It's an
thank
honor
you,
to be able to
thank you
talk
to
to you,
you.
ma'am. Really, I'm looking forward.
For the same.
I really like your ma'am short films. Like, I was watching and I thought that if it's a film project like your diploma film, like I have to like scale. I have to like learn a lot of things if I want to become a filmmaker. So, yeah, thank you so much, ma'am, for joining the podcast.
Thank you,
It was
thank you so
lovely,
much.
ma'am.
Yeah,
Thank you.
lovely to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Thank you.